This has been a long, hard journey. But it is almost football season, and I'm almost to the cave of the Squatch. I am Ben. This is the Fantasy Chairman Podcast spin-off show, Sasquatch Square Off, In Search of Sass, Fellowship of the Squatch. Alex, are you there?
I read you, Ben. I'm here.
I am so scared. It's dark out here, and I think I'm being haunted by the squirrel that stole my hotspot.
Yeah, you've had to move locations a number of times.
I am further into the woods, and things are less green and less cheery, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
That's where the Squatch resides. He resides just on the outskirts of the beautifulness, but inside he likes the dark.
That he does. I'm a little higher up, so I'm hoping that we've got better connection this time around. But we've got some quick hits to continue to bring to the people because, Alex, there's 2 weeks and 2 days. 16 days is what that is until the kickoff of the NFL season.
It's right around the corner, man. Hopefully we got some information that might be able to help you all out in your drafts. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of drafts happening this weekend.
I think this next few days, this weekend in particular, and then probably next Monday, Tuesday, or the following weekend, there's going to be a lot of drafts going on. So
we as our groups, we try to wait as long as possible. We try and line up a schedule for when everyone can draft, but we typically try to wait as close to the beginning of the season so an injury doesn't really burn somebody too awfully bad, like what happened to Travis Etienne. Did you hear about him?
Oh yeah, heard about Etienne.
Ugh.
If you got James Robinson late on his ADP, probably a steal of a deal for you.
Yeah, somebody lost on that one and somebody won on that one.
That's for sure.
If y'all haven't heard about it yet, Travis Etienne going to be likely out for the season with the Linz Frank injury. So going to have, I don't know if they were debating surgery on his foot or not yet. Have you heard, Ben?
I think I saw an update that said he's going to have surgery, and so he's looking to 2022.
That sucks. I was excited for Etienne.
Oh, yeah. Same here. Not good. The unfortunate realities of a fake football game and a real football game. So hopefully Etienne recovers well and can come back stronger in 2022. But
yes, bigger, faster, stronger.
Batman. Hopefully you're paying attention to that, and if you're drafting like right now, you're snagging him. James Robinson, that is. Anyway.
Pay heed to what we say.
Pay heed. Listen to our words. This is Quick Hits Sasquatch Square Off right here, and we are debating a couple of tight ends today. Of course, it's two of the big three, and there's been a lot of debate about these two back and forth this offseason. And, of course, we're talking about George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers and Darren Waller of the Las Vegas Raiders. George Kittle currently at an ADP of 23 and Darren Waller at an ADP of 27 on Sleeper in 12-team half PPR leagues. So I'm going to be talking about George Kittle and why you need to be taking that wrestling-crazed man instead of Darren Waller in the second round of your drafts. Third round.
Why you got to take Waller the baller
and
instead of George Kittle?
He is a baller, and I don't think that you can really go wrong with either of these guys, but we've each got our preferences, and we're going to give them to you. So just a reminder, each of us get 3 minutes to make our case for why you should draft our guy that we're choosing. And then at the end, we're just going to have 3 minutes to talk about the other guys in that range, the ADP that's similar there, and just ask each other a few questions to hopefully settle the debate for you so that we can help you make your choice when you get to that question in your draft. We only get one of these, Alex. Only one.
Only one.
Only one.
Everyone gets one.
Everybody gets one. All right. So we've been alternating, going back and forth on who's first, and I believe it's your turn today, Alex. So we're going to have you start with Darren Waller.
All right, I'll kick it off then. Darren Waller, tight end.
Hold on. We need the round one.
Round one. Fight.
My goodness.
It's not like it's my third time doing this, so.
All right, you're up.
Okay, I'm up here. Are you sure? Time start?
Well, I started your time, so.
Oh, time starts. Okay, so Darren Waller, tight end of the Las Vegas Raiders. The average draft position right now is 26, currently in half-point PPR. Darren Waller, a.k.a. the Baller, a.k.a. the Walrus. There's right there. Two big-time nicknames for your fantasy team. Can't go wrong with multiple nicknames.
That's very true.
Very true. Darren Waller last year was tight end number 2. The guy kicked butt all year long. He had a couple of down games, but man, he finished pretty darn strong towards the end of the year. He was racking up receptions all over the place. And a big piece of that was essentially outside of Nelson Aguilar kind of getting about maybe 5 or 6 targets a game, there wasn't much else out there for Derek Carr to throw to other than Darren Waller. It was just, Henry Ruggs, the touted first rounder, he didn't do anything his first year. Bryan Edwards was kind of a post-draft hype guy. Everyone was expecting him to do a lot, but didn't really do a whole lot either, which a lot of people are thinking that he'll bounce back this year along with Ruggs. But honestly, the only other big target that Waller had competition with was Nelson Aguilar. And Ben, he took off. He's gone. He's in New England now.
He's out.
So essentially, if Ruggs and Edwards don't step back up, I know the Raiders signed John Brown as well, who's a savvy veteran, can be relied upon. Waller's just going to have to pick up that much more targets that Nelson Aguilar is leaving.
But wait.
Oh.
But wait a minute. Hold on.
What do you want?
Haven't you heard that Bryan Edwards is basically Devontae Adams / Jerry Rice / Terrell Owens? Bryan Edwards is, according to all reports and all hype this offseason, Bryan Edwards is going to be the guy. The guy. You don't think he's going to tear into Darren Waller's
Ben, if there's one guy
here?
that you know that is all about Bryan Edwards, you know that it's me. So
I know.
I'm 100% hoping that Bryan Edwards breaks out this year and stays healthy and turns into the wide receiver 1 for the Raiders. But I think John Gruden and Derek Carr both know that Darren Waller ain't going away. The guy is a stud. He's a red zone threat. He is a move tight end. Move tight end meaning that he is hardly ever called in to block. He'll block occasionally, but most of the time, the guy's running a route. He's not coming in to mash his body to possibly get injured on a running play. The guy's out there. He's a freak. If you've ever seen clips of him, the guy is a 6'4", 6'5" monster that's out there that has pretty great speed. And, he catches it between the 20s well, and he's a red zone threat. What more can you ask for?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He is a baller. I'll give him that.
Line last year, Ben, targets were 146 targets, 107 receptions, 1,196 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
That's that pace he would have been on?
No, that's what he got.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, the guy, it was amazing. And the tight end 1 for the last 6 years, Travis Kelce, this was his stat line. 145 targets, so the Baller had him with that one.
15 seconds.
105 receptions, 1,416 yards and 11 touchdowns. So he had him in yards and touchdowns. But he could get that easy.
I mean, it's possible. It is possible.
I mean, there is one glaring issue of Mahomes versus Derek Carr, but
I thought
but those are details. Those are minor details.
Minor detail. I thought about using the record scratch with and bringing up Derek Carr there, but there's been so much hype on Bryan Edwards recently that I just wanted to throw that out there, and that was more of a fun record scratch because I'm kind of with you on the sentiments there, but.
I hope he breaks out and stays healthy. I want to see him. I mean, it'd be something to see with Bryan Edwards, Henry Ruggs start picking it up and showing their potential, and then Waller out there. This offense with Josh Jacobs in the backfield and newly acquired Kenyon Drake too, this could be a scary offense.
Could be all right. All right. Well, I think it's time for me to make the case for George Kittle here, and I'm gonna get my clock started right now. So George Kittle, it's no secret, he dealt with multiple injuries in 2020. I mean, he was in and out, back in and back out. He missed weeks 2 and 3, and then he ended up missing weeks 9 through 15. And I believe part of that was that they just wanted to make sure that he was healthy before they brought him back in, and he played weeks 16 and 17. So he ended up playing in 8 total games, finished as tight end 20 in 2020, which isn't very good, tight end 20, not very good, but that's all right.
Not for where you were drafting him, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. During Kittle's healthy stretch of games from week 4 to 7, when he was back in and healthy during that time, he was the tight end 1, and he outscored Travis Kelce by 15 points in that stretch of time. In 8 games, Kittle had 63 targets, 48 receptions, 634 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 76% catch rate. So he was on pace for 126 targets, 96 receptions, and that's right in line from what his target totals were in 2018 and 2019 when he finished as the tight end 2 and 3, I believe, right up there behind Kelce and right in line with Zach Ertz. So Kyle Shanahan, we know his offense focuses a lot on just getting the ball to his best players in space and then relying on that yak. That yak, Alex.
That yak.
Kyle Shanahan likes to rack the yak, and that's why he's got players that are so good at it, like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Kittle, I mean, I've just brought up Deebo and Ayuk. Kittle's the wide receiver 1 in this offense. Let's not kid ourselves here. I mean, Ayuk was great in his rookie season. Pretty good. He's going to get his looks, obviously. If Deebo can stay healthy, he's going to get his looks too. But there's more than enough to go around in this fancy Shanahan offense. They're a little bit more healthy coming into this year. I think they were the most beat-up team, just completely last year. So Kittle coming in.
Let me get a record scratch there, Ben.
Oh, you want a record scratch? There it is. What do you need? What can I do for you?
So, Kittle's been in the league how many years?
Is it 5 years now? Hold on.
It's 4 or 5 years now. How many of those years has he played majority of the games?
Well, Alex, he's played the majority of them in most of the year. I guess, what do you consider the majority?
I don't know. I guess so. In his career so far, 17 games is a full entire season. So let's say, how many times has he played 15 games, 14 games?
Okay, I got you. Well, so he's been in the league 4 years. 4 years.
Okay.
In 2017, he played 15 games. That was his rookie season. Finished as tight end 19. In 2018, his second year, he played all 16 games. Finished his tight end 2 in standard, 3 in PPR. And then 2019, he played 14 games still finished as tight end 3 in standard, 2 in PPR. And then last year, I already covered how much he missed. But so just tight end 20.
My big point is, I mean, Kittle, the guy's a monster. He's an athlete. He goes out there. He's giving it 100% every play. But the guy, I mean, when he bowls over people, he's violent. I mean, he throws his body.
Oh, and that's why you love him.
I know, I love it. But in a sense of fantasy, though, I mean, he gets injured quite a bit.
He does.
We've seen him, through these years. He plays through injuries too, but man, the guy, violent dude.
He is.
And he plays with the violence. That's awesome.
That's right. And he'll carry 4 people into the end zone. Like, that's just what he's going to do. It's kind of Gronkian, to be honest. But
a little bit. And Gronk dealt with a whole lot of injuries towards the end of his career. So, I mean, I know we're only talking about, redrafted one season here, but I mean, if you're given the choice between a Waller or a Kittle, in a sense of who do you think will play more games this year, who would you think?
Waller's probably going to play more games, but I don't know. I just think the ceiling for Kittle is higher in those games that he plays, and I like the offensive system a whole lot better in San Francisco as compared to Las Vegas, because Gruden seems to be losing his mind. They did trade off there in Vegas a bunch of starters on their O-line. I don't like that for Derek Carr one bit. If they do start getting the ball spread out more, then Waller's just not going to get as many looks as normal. And I am going to trust the Shanahan system over the Gruden system. But my last little bit here. Last offseason, everybody was all about Kittle. He was regarded as the one to dethrone Kelsey. And it seems like people have just forgotten that fact. And he's being almost left for dead, from what Kittle should be at this point. Holy cow. All right. Well, there we go.
I will agree with you. I do like the 49ers offense better than the Raiders offense.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, that's one of my big things with Kittle there. I mean, you've got the good point that it is a little scary because now he's had a whole season of being injured, re-injured, and it makes you leery of like, oh, is he injury prone? And I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. People brought the same thing up with Christian McCaffrey. He was hurt last year, so, oh, man, that means, he's injury prone. Not really. He just had a year where he got hurt. Like, it happens,
We kind of talked about this with the Kamara and the Derrick Henry comparison, but with these early picks, you can't win the draft, but you can definitely lose the draft. And for me, like I want to have the safest floor I can have with a good possibility at a high ceiling. You want to be as risk averse, in my opinion, in those first few rounds because you don't want to get snake bitten with something.
Yep.
I've had leagues where I've lost my number 2 pick, number 1 pick, and number 3 pick before, not in the same team, but to season-ending injuries or something like that, and it sucks. You don't really place very well in those years.
Yeah, that is for sure. Absolutely. Let's see who is being taken around Kittle here. We got the likes of, we got Patrick Mahomes there at 21. This is a 1 QB league that we're talking about here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is right around George Kittle. Then A.J. Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Justin Jefferson, Darren Waller, Keenan Allen. So a lot of good names up in that range with Kittle and Waller. I guess it just more so is going to depend on whether you want to take that premium at the tight end spot because there's 3 that are just going to dominate. And if you want to just take a guy – you don't necessarily want to spend a first or second round pick on him, but you want that tight end premium piece, and you just know you don't have to worry about tight end the rest of the season, barring injury, right? Then you got to go with Kittle or Waller there. If you're a wait on tight end person, then there's a whole bunch of names in this range that I would be happy to take over these guys.
Yeah, definitely dependent upon how you want to set up your lineup. So, I mean, typically if you go QB early, you don't want to take probably one of these guys just because you're going to be behind the 8 ball in the running back and wide receiver position, which are for the most part used more in your fantasy lineups, in the typical lineups out there. So, I'm not opposed to going either one of these guys as long as I get a good solid running back or wide receiver to kind of sandwich them in between. And Kelsey's probably the first one in the first round to take if I was going to take anyone the first. These two guys, don't take them before the second unless it's a tight end premium league.
Yep, true that. All right. Well, that'll do it for Quick Hit Sasquatch Square Off number 3. We got a few more we're bringing to you as I continue my journey to find the Squatch and wake him up from his hibernation. Hopefully the connection maintains here. It stayed on for us that time, Alex, so that's good.
That's a good sign, but you got to keep going. You got to find him before the beginning of the season.
Oh, I'm pushing on through, and this little distraction helped stem my fear of the dark out here. So anyway, that'll do it. Follow us on social at Chairman Fantasy, at Fantasy Squatch, at Find FF Leagues.
Oh yeah, and I thought you were gonna say something there.
Oh no!
Also, rate and review us and follow us on all your podcast listening devices, and throw us a nice review. We'd appreciate it.
That's right. All right, I'm going to go sleep in the dirt and get up and go find Squatch. We'll see you.
Let's set yourself a little fire there, make a nice little campfire. Maybe a s'more to brighten your spirits.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that. Just that. All right, we'll see you on the next one.